One day, a young man named Adam sat alone in his small apartment, staring at a notebook filled with crossed-out ideas. Every page showed effort, but none felt good enough. He had rewritten the same goals dozens of times: career plans, fitness routines, creative dreams, yet nothing ever moved forward. Room was quiet, but his mind was loud with one thought that had followed him for years. "I'll start when it's perfect." That morning, as sunlight crept through the window, Adam didn't know it yet, but this was the day his relationship with perfection would begin to change. Adam had always been known as the capable one. Teachers praised his potential, friends admired his intelligence, and relatives often said he's going to do something big one day. Those words sounded like encouragement, but over time, they became a weight. Adam didn't just want to succeed, he wanted to succeed flawlessly. Anything less felt like failure. He waited for the right moment, the right skills, the right confidence, and the right version of himself. In high school, Adam wanted to speak confidently in class, but he stayed quiet until he had the perfect answer. In college, he wanted to apply for leadership roles, but he delayed because he didn't feel fully prepared. He dreamed of starting a YouTube channel, writing meaningful content, and helping others. But the fear of imperfect delivery kept the camera off. Life kept moving, but Adam felt like he was standing still, watching others try, fail, learn, and grow. What nobody saw was how exhausting perfectionism was. Adam spent hours overthinking small decisions. He compared himself constantly, scrolling through social media and feeling behind. He believed everyone else had clarity, confidence, and discipline, things he felt he lacked. Every night, he promised himself that tomorrow would be different, and every morning he woke up disappointed that he was still waiting. That same morning, Adam decided to take a walk to clear his head. The city felt unusually quiet, as if giving him space to think. He passed a small park where an older man was struggling to fix a broken bench. The man dropped his tools repeatedly, muttered to himself, and clearly wasn't doing a perfect job. Adam almost kept walking, but something made him stop. "Do you need help?" Adam asked. The old man smiled. "I could use an extra pair of hands. I'm very good at this, but I don't like leaving things broken." They worked together for nearly an hour. The bench wasn't flawless. One side was uneven, and the paint was messy. Still, when the man sat down, he looked satisfied. "Not perfect," the man said, "but usable. And that's enough." Those words stayed with Adam. Later that day, Adam went home and tried to distract himself, but the phrase echoed in his mind: usable, not perfect. He realized how much of his life he had put on hold because he wanted everything to be ideal. He wasn't lazy, he wasn't incapable. He was paralyzed by the idea that imperfect action was worse than no action at all. That night, Adam made a small decision. He didn't plan his entire future or set unrealistic goals. He simply chose one thing he had been avoiding and decided to do it badly. He opened his laptop, recorded a short video, no edits, no script, no perfect lighting, and uploaded it privately. His heart raced. He felt embarrassed. But for the first time in a long while, he felt relief. The next day, Adam noticed something unexpected. The world didn't end. Nobody judged him. Nothing terrible happened. In fact, he felt lighter. He realized that perfection had been a cage he built himself, and the lock was never real. Days passed, and Adam began experimenting with action over perfection. He applied for opportunities even when he felt underqualified. He spoke up even when his voice shook. He exercised even when his routine wasn't ideal. Each step felt uncomfortable, but also freeing. He started to understand that confidence wasn't something you wait for, it's something you build through repetition. Of course, it wasn't easy. There were days Adam slipped back into old habits. Days when he deleted work because it didn't meet his standards. Days when comparison crept in and whispered, "You're still not enough." But now, he noticed those thoughts instead of obeying them. He learned that progress didn't come from silencing fear, but from moving despite it. One evening, Adam met an old friend who seemed to be thriving. The friend talked about new projects, risks taken, and lessons learned. Adam admitted something he had never said out loud before. "I think I wasted years waiting to feel ready." His friend looked at him and said, "Most people do. The difference is whether you keep waiting or start now." That conversation hit Adam deeply. He went home and wrote in his notebook not goals, not plans, but truths. He wrote about how perfection had protected him from failure, but also from growth. How avoiding mistakes had cost him experiences. How starting imperfectly had already taught him more than years of thinking ever did. Slowly, Adam's life began to change. Not in dramatic movie-like ways, but in quiet, meaningful ones. He felt more present. He felt proud of effort instead of outcome. He stopped seeing mistakes as proof of inadequacy and started seeing them as feedback. People around him noticed the shift. Said he seemed calmer, more confident, more alive. 1 year later, Adam looked back at the man he used to be, the one frozen by fear of imperfection. He felt compassion instead of shame. He understood now that perfectionism wasn't arrogance. It was fear in disguise, fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of not being enough. Adam still cared about doing things well. He still aimed to improve, but he no longer waited to be perfect before beginning. He had learned the most important lesson of his life. Growth belongs to those who show up imperfectly and keep going. The moral of Adam's story is simple but powerful. Perfection is not the goal, progress is. Waiting to feel ready can steal years from your life. Action, even messy action, is what builds confidence, skill, and self-trust. You don't improve before you start. You improve because you start. And for anyone listening who feels stuck, behind, or afraid to begin, remember this. The life you want doesn't require a perfect version of you. It only requires a willing one.